more traditional way of whatever repetition through symbolism will manifest. So I give an explanation of a lot of those things, and it's just very short, 5 to 7 minutes. So, and there's a couple corrections I just want to make, but if I can, I want to put this as the opening video on my YouTube page, and in case people don't watch my videos to the end, well, at least they can get this good information, because normally my videos start off slow with a bunch of blah, 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 and eventually I get to where I want to go, and I kind of just let my mind guide me where I'm going. So I'm going to play that right now for you, and chime in where I have to do my corrections. So this is how magic works, a little bit on how to do magic, and how the actual energy that we're creating and putting into whatever we're trying to do, how it gets sent out, or how it impresses on the subconscious mind, and how it will come back to you, and the do's and the don'ts. So yeah, here we go.
Law of correspondence. Thank you. Okay, my head just told me that. Law of correspondence. But anyways, that'll help you connect to all those ways of doing magic, how they're all the same. But regardless of that, what I'm trying to say here is, in this book, it's going to tell you how to achieve successful getting money, and the very various ways. So he does various ways, and the ones that whenever he speaks about putting emotion into the visualization of you being grateful for having the money, it literally says that. It's crazy. This is a book about how to get rich, but it's a fucking magical grimoire almost. But and it gives you the proof throughout the book of all these successful people. So you're getting the faith, and by using this book, reading this book, listening to it, he talks about how faith is important. How if you use your subconscious mind correctly, and you know without a shadow of a doubt that what you're trying to manifest is going to manifest. If you can get your mind, if you believe that, truly believe that, then your subconscious will manifest it. That's where the problem lies for most people, is they can't seem to believe that it's going to work. And that's why I say to watch testimonials, watch people that are successful, that have successfully done this. The more you do that through repetition and just watching them, that's going to take you some time. It's not always a necessary step, but it's definitely something you should be doing anyways, because you might be one of those lucky people that can do it fast, or you might be one of those people that are going to have to build that subconscious programming. That magic is real, and you can manifest, because we're doing it no matter what. But you don't have the programming in your mind yet that you can consciously control it, even though by repeatedly doing stuff and repeatedly have seen stuff when you were a kid and repeatedly being told stuff, you've been programmed, and that's what you're manifesting right now. But the programming that you need, and the difference between a magical practitioner and just everybody else, is we're all doing it already. The difference is the fact that we know that we can consciously put suggestions in, or consciously give energy to something on the astral, or put suggestions in our subconscious mind, and be able to manipulate that part of our reality maker and get it to manifest. That's the difference. And by getting that in your mind, by watching stuff like I have fucking for years now, 5 years of watching the same content of Raider, Xavier, Birch, Thunder Wizard recently too, because he talks about manifesting stuff. So regardless of his true intention of what he's trying to do, he does have so much, he does in so many words actually say that magic is real and it works, and you can manifest stuff. Now, it's always derived towards his system and what he can do for you, and it's not really about the subject as a whole and how to develop yourself. It's more about how you should get him, and he will help you. That's what he's doing, versus Frater has those programs, but he's not telling people they need to grab it or whatever. He's giving you what he's done. He's got his free channel to tell you why this is important and how it works and how any system can work, and there's different systems for you. If you choose this, it's great, but you should do what's right by you. So anyways, all that aside, I just wanted to point that out there, that that's what this is. So I'm going to find the clip of something that at least covers a lot of ground about this book to pique your interest. And I'll try not to be longer than 5 to 10 minutes.
I'm not sure if I actually say it anywhere in this clip, but the book I'm referring to is Think and Grow Rich. And if you want to see the clip that I put on here, you'd have to go to the original video, which would be the video right before this one. Well, right before this one would be the podcast of the same content, but it's Think and Grow Rich, where he talks a lot about the subconscious mind, how to impress on it, how to build up faith, and it gives you testimonials from the most popular and successful men of that time in 1937 when he wrote this book, and literally interviewed a lot of them and got their take on how, and every one of them talk about visualizing and feeling it. Anyways, just wanted to let you know that the book I was referring to is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, one of the best sellers still today.
Please do yourself a favor and listen to it. And if it seems like something that you should listen to, you might say you already know it. You might be like, I already know all that. I don't need to listen to it. But no, you should listen to it. The more you listen to shit like this, the more programming you're putting in your mind. This book is a huge book on how to do magic, how to successfully get money magic, more specifically. But it's a self-improvement, do-it-yourself kind of book that also has testimonials and all the most rich and successful people around the world, their successes. And it talks quite a bit about how quitting is a necessity, or no, how quitting is not a necessity, but how failure is a necessity. You invent something until you get it right. You're going to keep trying different ways. Nope, it didn't work, fail. No, it didn't work, fail. No, it didn't work, fail. Boom, it worked. You failed 4 times before you got it to work. And that's where it comes back full circle that what I was talking about before was if you feel like quitting, you should just take a break, take a breather, walk away. Because sometimes right when you feel like you're going to quit is when you're about to have a fucking revelation. Sometimes it's your big break that comes after that. If you just make it past that failure point, you failed, it's okay. You get back into it whenever you can in the right mind. Boom. That's when it's just going to start working for you. I'm not going to say like you're going to get that $1 million then, but you're going to get the opportunity to be able to get the $1 million. It might work its way up. Point is, don't ever quit on what you're trying to do. You need to keep your energy, especially if you're just beginning. You need to focus on the one thing at a time. Because it's like, okay, I want to learn how to manifest money today, so I'm going to go online, I'm going to find all this shit on YouTube on how to do that, okay, and then tonight I'll do it. Then you get online, and then the person starts talking about astrology. So, I'll look up a little astrology, don't get back to them, what do you think later? And then it's, your third eye, and then microcosmic orbit. Then this is healing magic, some astrology stuff here, tarot. It's like, now you just spread that attention everywhere, and you're not going to get anything done, because you're watching all these different things. Whereas if you just, I want to learn about money magic, put this book on, or anything that teaches how to do money magic, it has testimonials of money magic in it. You listen to that all day, and then you go practice that. Put all your energy into that and feel it. Put the emotion as if it's already happened. Get as much energy into that. Use dance, song, movement, postures, get all of that in there to increase your own energy. And then once your energy, you're high energy, you're moving, you're grooving, you're jumping, you're happy, you're fucking blissful, then you just focus it all into that intention, that visualization that you have with so much emotion that you're so fucking grateful for it. And then you're done, close temple, get the fuck downstairs, forget about it. Even if that means you have to watch TV, which I hate promoting watching TV, but whatever you can do, I'd say go outside, do some yard work, go for a walk, try to get your mind far away from that. And if your mind does come back to that, and you get thoughts of when is it going to happen, or it might not happen, if you get a thought about like, I wish it was to happen in the next few days, well, then say, I'm grateful that this has happened. I'm so grateful that my manifestations happen very quickly. I will harm free someone, that whole fucking thing. And then stop thinking about that. Anytime you have the thought, just accept that it's going to work and say you're free from it not working, which is banishing it away. I banish those thoughts of me being free from successful magic, and I accept that my magic always manifests quickly and exactly how I want it to, something to that effect. But you gotta try to keep your mind off of it so that it can come to you. Because if you're consciously thinking about it, subconscious, the other realm, the astral, can't work on it. It can't get it for you. It can't connect all the dots. Can't find the path of least resistance. You put the energy out there, initiated from you, right to the astral. And now it's created up there, and it has to come back down to you in your reality. It's got to find the path of least resistance. All right, just a quick note on the path of least resistance. So something that was observed by practitioners a while ago, and even now, is that magic, the energy, the human energy, the emotional or the psychic and
physical, all this, the energy that we use in magic, sex magic, all this shit, the magic, the energy that we use resembles a lot of electricity. So electricity is a good metaphor for it, although it's not always exactly the same, but it tends to follow the same rules, and that's why we use polarity to explain this stuff. We use gender, just like in electricity. You have a plug, you have the male and the female ends, and then you have positive and negative. What's in astrology? What are the planets? Are they positive and negative? Are they male or female? The energy in the body, the mind, the subconscious, and the conscious is positive, negative, male, female, right? We have all this within us. This is why it's like this. Well, this is one of the reasons we use that, because it's one of the best metaphors and the thing that's compared to the most. Path of least resistance is the easiest way for whatever your intention is to get back to you. This is why when you get further into magic, if you are trying to cast or intend for a bunch of money to come to you, when you don't ever specify how the money, like, oh, I'm going to have this much money deposited in my bank, or someone's going to give me this much money, or I'm going to find this much money, you just cast and say you're grateful for receiving this sum of money. And this way, you leave open all these opportunities. So you didn't just single it out, because it would take universe, subconscious, the divine, God, whatever you want to believe it is, it would take it a while to line up perfectly to exactly how you worded and asked for it to get in your bank account. It's going to be hard for that to happen, but it's easier for it to find a path with the least resistance to get it to you if you leave all those opportunities open. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify what I meant by the path of least resistance. This is why something called a road opener, before you cast for money, sometimes it's better to, when the moon's waning, whenever it's in a banishing state, whenever it's more dark, sometimes it's better to be, I'm so grateful that I've banished, removed, denied all the things that were obstructing me from receiving large sums of money. And then when the moon is waxing more light, then you can ask for that money to come. So you got rid of anything obstructing you from money, so that you have more paths for it to come to you, so there's no resistance. So that's what the path of least resistance is. You banish, and then you invoke. That's another rule, just something important that I'm not going to get into here, but like I said, this is just a simplified version that I just want to add and correct some of the things I said. So yeah, back to it.
When you're consciously still thinking about it, you kind of put energy into it, but depending on if you're thinking about it in a way that it's going to work out, then you're putting good energy into it, so that's not bad. That's why I say accept it, and forget about that, so that it can come back to you. But every time you consciously think about it, you're sending it that way, and it can't come to you, can't come back to you when you're sending it one way. And this is all just to give you kind of a visualization of how it works. It's not always necessarily exactly how this shit works when I say this stuff, but it is how it works. In a manner of speaking, we can't see how the energy travels, but one way of looking for it, if you want to think about the astrals, up or back, or just to another realm, wherever that energy goes, it's going there consciously. And for it to come back to you and manifest in this realm, you have to not be consciously thinking about it. You can't be. Because just the act of, like if you're healed, like Brady's got this story about he had a gash on his hand, okay? And he used a healing technique to get healed, okay? Stopped thinking about it, and then all of a sudden it started healing. And just the act of him looking at it and being all surprised that it was working, consciously thinking about it, it stopped it. Because he interrupted the energy. The energy was coming back to him, and then he shot his energy at the same way. So what happens when two fucking beams are coming at each other? Well, they're going to stop. So stop that energy, stop the healing magic.
Yeah, in that video, I was going to put it on here, but I don't feel like doing that, but I think I played it before. But he says just the act of him being surprised and looking at it, like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. Consciously thinking about the healing. While he wasn't thinking about it, it started happening. And then by sending his energy into the same thing, right back to that same intention, like, how is this happening, it stopped it. So he was left with half a gash on his hand. Healed halfway. So I just wanted to add that into there because, it's a good, for what I'm trying to say, you're trying to, whether it's trying to impress an idea in your subconscious, they say you really have to impress something in your subconscious. Affirmations, you got to do it so often so it sinks in there. Or you use symbolic symbolism to get something in your subconscious mind, right? Or the way I'm explaining here more is the astral way. But it's the same thing. When you're trying to put something on your realm in the astral, you have to put so much energy into it so that it's created there. Well, when you're trying to get something in your subconscious mind, it's the same concept. You're trying to really impress on your subconscious mind that this has already happened, so that your subconscious has no choice but to manifest it, because well, it's obviously happened, you know, and it's just another way of looking at it. But the point is, he put that energy into the healing, and then when the healing started happening, his conscious mind kind of fucked it up by like, what? How's this happening? Oh, this is not supposed to happen. It stopped. Or the energy, he was consciously thinking about the same thing, pushing, you know, the energy's coming back to him, creating it on this realm, but then once he consciously acknowledged it, stopped it. So, just another way of looking at it and explaining what I'm trying to explain.
Where I derive this explanation from, something to that effect. So yeah, as soon as you fucking get it gone, get out of your head, anytime you accept it, think about it, or so anytime you think about it, depending on how you think about it, like I've already said, banish it if it's thoughts of you not being successful in your magic, and accept it if it is thoughts of you being successful in your magic, and then get that off your mind. Do whatever the fuck you gotta do to get it off the music, dance, eat, whatever. They say after doing a ritual, you should ground yourself. So that means physically going outside and putting your feet on the ground. That's perfect. To get the energy to come back to you faster, you should ground. Like, seriously, take your fucking socks off, put your feet on the fucking grass if you can. Because then you're on the earth. This thing has to come back to you. Electricity is always trying to find its quickest way to the ground. This is why it goes to metal.
Alright, and this is the correction I need to make, and probably the last time I'll chime in. When I said electricity, this is why it's always hitting metal, I meant lightning, which is electricity, so I'm not wrong, but I'm not illustrating the point using the metaphor correctly. So lightning storm, the lightning is trying to find its path to the ground. It's trying to be grounded. The electricity in the circuits in your wall. We manipulate that electricity by dangling the carrot of neutrality in front of it. So the not proton in this case, proton, neutrons, electrons. But this would be positive and, still electrons technically, but the positive is with the neutral, very close together, and the electrons going around the circuit. That's what's going through the wire, all right? The black cord, the red cord would zap you, but you have to touch both to get the zap if you're, jumping your car or something like that. But anyways, the electron is trying to get to the neutral. So when you turn on the light, that's what's going on. That's how the electricity is going through the thing. When you shut it off, it's automatically neutralized. We've allowed it to do that. Turn it on, it's not at that neutral anymore. Something to that. That's simplified, but the point is, you sent out electricity, your energy, and you need that to come back and hit you. You want to be that fucking tall building or bridge that the lightning is striking. But you can't be thinking about it when it strikes you, because by thinking about it, you're sending that energy out there, potentially even neutralizing it, who knows. But as long as you're accepting it, then you're still creating more energy into it, and then you forget about it again. But if you start thinking about it as if it's not going to happen, well, then that can be problematic. But this is a correction I wanted to make. Lightning is always trying to ground. We have to ground. By grounding, you also take all the additional positive ions that are in your body that we're bombarded with by lots of things. So, and then the negative ions neutralize you, bring you back to a more of a neutral state, which is perfect. If you're trying to receive something, you want to be in neutral, right? So it's a win-win by putting your feet on the ground. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you want to get struck by your own intention at this point. And the more you can go on the ground and do that, the easier it will be for you to receive what you're trying to receive, because you're trying to affect reality, the physical. You're trying to get something that's trying to come back to the physical for you. What better than putting your feet right on the physical ground and grabbing and soaking up some of that energy, right? So just a way of looking at it, okay? So all I'm trying to do here is just try to simplify and help people understand, so that if they have a clear way of how it potentially is possible, then they can start getting that programming in their mind that I was talking about earlier by watching testimonials. Just by saying you're a witch, a magical practitioner, a ceremonial magician, a wizard, whatever kind of magical name, that comes with the programming that you have the ability to do these things. So that right there will help you be able to do these things. More than that, if you've been watching stuff that proves without a doubt, and doing things and having proof yourself, obviously, of course, but listening to the people, watching it like a TV show, that this shit works, and there's proof of it, you will program your mind that you are capable of manipulating your own reality. Like I said earlier in this clip, the difference between a magical practitioner and everybody else. We're both actually, in a way, we're all creating the circumstances that are happening in our life. But we are trying to do it on purpose. And we have the programming in us that allows us to believe it can happen. Faith is one of the biggest components you can have. And obviously the right mindset. But by having the faith and knowing and having the proof, it's easy to have faith once you have the proof, right? Seeing is believing and all that fucking shit, right? Well, once you have the proof, you can believe it. But before you have the actual proof, by listening and getting programmed by other people's proof will help your mind know it's real and program that subconscious, which is another key part of this. Doing the rituals, learning the theory is all important, but getting that programming in your head in the best way, in my opinion, is watching things that prove this. Just like if you want to make money and be successful, you'll listen to fuckers that have been making money and becoming successful. You watch people that are like, if you want to become some kind of YouTube star, you'll watch the most popular people over and over and over again. You immerse yourself in that shit, and then you will become what you watch. You become what you think about, you know? Anyways, I think that's going to be the last time I come in. I could be wrong, but I'll finish it up right now.
Because it grounds it, right? It becomes neutral at that point. All electricity is always trying to get to neutrality. While the electrons are trying to get to neutrality, you send the energy out. Positive conscious projection. The negative, it's the negative polarity, that energy coming back to you. Subconscious mind, negative earth, negative water, negative, that energy coming back to you. It's got to come through you to ground, through your conscious mind. Anyways, that it's going to find the path of least resistance, and it's going to travel back to you and manifest in your realm. And I don't think I can do a better job of explaining it than that. So anyways, here comes the clip of Napoleon Hill. If I may come back and chime on after it, but probably won't. Because I have many videos that probably explain exactly the same thing he's talking about. And a lot of them are before I even read that book. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. Have yourself a great fucking